ต่อไปข้าพเจ้าขอเชิญทานเนนผู้สุจิธรรมมากล่าวและคิด
Society want to come and welcome to all the families and fans who are here today in person and via webcast to celebrate the life of my late father, Tom-Kam Wonkanetta. My name is Paul Sititama, and I am the eldest of the two children of the Tom-Kam and Johnson Wonkanetta family. My younger sister, Paul Patala, who lives in Melbourne with her family just like many others, has unfortunately been unable to, has been caught up in the COVID pandemic where restrictions have limited the movements of people everywhere around Australia and the rest of the world. She's unable to attend today, like most of the invited guests today. And we are sorry we couldn't be here, but completely understand that the current circumstances we are facing through this pandemic. But my father will not mind because it was his last wish before he passed that he wanted a short service and a small gathering. I hope that everyone remains vigilant and safe during these trying times, but rest assured that no matter where you are, each and every one of you who is present both here and online, local and international, has a special place in my father's life, and I wanted to thank you all for being part of his journey. So I wanted to start off by saying that to me, Dad was one of the most loving, caring, considerate, intelligent, generous and hard-working person I've ever known, who was sometimes misunderstood. He was a very smart man and quite the handyman, who had a solution to almost anything and could fix almost everything. It always blew my mind. There was never a time where if I'd asked him to help me set up something or I wasn't able to do something, he would just drop whatever he was doing and come over and help me without any hesitation. I'd always been in awe at how quickly he could complete it when I was still stuck on page 1 and reading through the how-to manuals. Now, whether it was installing TVs on the walls, cabling, setting up my air conditioner or putting my office table together, when all I asked from him was to borrow his tools, he would just drop everything and proceed to take charge and complete the whole job without any question. He liked to complete tasks by himself because he found satisfaction in doing so, but also because he knew I was completely useless with tools and he wanted it done the right way. It had to be his way. I always felt like I had a lot to learn from him. He also loved his gardening and always wanted to prove himself that he could plant trees and fruits that were meant to be grown in other regions of the world. He would scour the internet for most exotic plants and fruits and proceed to buy seeds on eBay, which just happens to be one of his favourite websites. He was always browsing for something, and I was always thinking, not again. But it was a passion of his, and he would always feel proud because people would be amazed when they come over to visit his house to see all these exotic fruits and plants that were found in our backyard. The fruits of his labour allowed us to have some of the freshest season's fruit and vegetables in our very own backyard, which Mum loved, and I had no clue which plants they were. But it just shows that his passion, drive and determination, that he set his mind to something, that anything was possible. He was also a very generous man, and he had a very big heart. When we had special guests come from far and overseas, or people who he had a very good connection with, he would always go out of his way and spoil them, either taking them out for big dinners and making them feel special and welcome into Australia or into our homes. He always ensured that everyone who visited would always leave with a gift of some sort, even if it had the latest gadgets that he bought for himself unused, or something that he planted in the backyard. Now, there were many times where he would go out and buy the same things over and over again back on eBay because he would just give them away. But that's just him. He always thought of others before himself. He was also highly respected in the Lao community and the Lao Wat Buddhist temple, where he gave a lot of his time to help the community out for various projects, whether he had to fix or install air conditioners, electrical work around the place, computers or security cameras, etc. He was well known in the Lao community across Australia and overseas. Dad had a soft spot, which he had for his children, Archie and Alani. He loved them very much and would always give them the latest iPads, cameras and phones, or whatever, whether my sister would approve of them or not. Even though he just bought them for himself, it's only used a couple of times, just because he enjoyed the fact that they came to visit him. He loved to spoil them dearly. He probably would have given them whatever they want had they lived any closer. It was unfortunate we don't get to see the kids as often as we like, because Grandpa always had a special place for them in his heart. Now during his illness, Archie and Elaine played a key role in helping Dad forget about some of the pain he was in. He made him smile from ear to ear just by chatting to him on FaceTime. And spending that small amount of time meant the world to him and making him laugh. Dad was always a prankster and a joker and loved to play around with the kids, either making fart noises or always blaming them, and Lani would respond back with fart noises in return. He loved that. I remember as a kid he used to do the same to me and La as well, and that was one thing that I missed. I want to thank Archie and Lani for making Grandpa happy. Whenever you guys spoke to him, it made a world of difference in his dark times. And Lani and Sam for being so supportive. He really appreciated that and loves you all very much. And I always want to thank Mum and Auntie Lynn for persevering and showing unconditional love to Dad when he needed it most. The amount of sleepless nights just to ensure that Dad was as comfortable as he could be showed how much love you had towards him. I'm sure he knows this, and we did the best that we could, and we were prepared to battle for more. I personally remember Dad thanking me in his final moments and kissing my hand and sharing my final birthday, or sharing my birthday for the last time with him. I'll cherish that moment forever. I love you, Dad, and I'll miss you very much. May you rest in peace. And I wanted to close off by thanking you all for being here and being part of Dad's life. Stay safe. Thank you.